welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
Woo!
this is the pro special. We did the college. You got the college. We're up well over 250 units. Dustin, and before I introduce him, Dustin, if you started with us 4 weeks ago with $100, you'd be up 20,000 right now. I know it's crazy. Yeah, I know you don't believe it, but if you go to you go to our past four YouTubes,
Yeah.
we hit one really big parlay. But look, guys, if you're looking right, I got a good guest on. I've known this guy for over 10 years. And when I went to New York City from Atlanta, he wouldn't give me any comedy spots until I fixed the bathroom doors in his comedy club and his stage. And
Put the actual stage into the club, and we get
I actually that's my contracting skills. I put the stage, they have not upgraded that stage set. It's the same stage.
of course.
It's,
Why would they? You did a good job. Why would they?
yeah, it did a great job. I put in the new flooring for the comedy owner, Al Martin, rest in peace, and Dustin Chafin. He's actually still here. I'm talking to him.
That is the
Um,
weirdest intro ever. It's like, first of all, you said my name before and then you went around and then you said, rest in peace. Somebody's dead. Oh, he's alive. Dustin.
yeah, that's the way we roll. That's the way we roll here.
He made me put a floor in. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
back
this
up a
is yeah,
little.
yeah.
No,
Guys, this is
no, no,
Dustin
no, no.
Chafin.
I'm
Seriously,
Dustin
I'm not kidding.
Chafin.
He's one of the
Yeah.
funniest
Yeah.
comedians.
Okay,
I
here we go.
know. You
You're
really
still
are.
going.
And we we were in this club, and he kind of like he played hard to get it first, and then he hooked me and was like, "Hey, listen, I'll be back in like 30 minutes." And he'd come back 6 hours later, four fights later, five comedians that hated me.
No, see, that's not how any of this happened. So I'll give the brief. Howie was kind of a friends with a comedian that had work my door, and Howie's a funny guy, always the guy that tells funny stories, and I think he had the bug to do stand up, and the guy that he was friends with, Howie was already way funnier than he was, so Howie's like, "How's this guy getting time?" And then I coached Howie. I coached him. We
Yeah,
did one-on-ones. We
yeah.
learned structure. We learned how to kind of like develop the story. And then he kind of, I gave him some spots here and there. And then he wanted more spots. And I was like, hey, dude, how I got on stage, I had to clean the club. I had to cook for the club. So I ran him through the same system that every other great comic has
Yeah.
to do, where they pay dues. Howie did his job, and then Howie actually happened to be exceptional at putting floors in and doorknobs and shit. So we put him to work,
And
and
bartending and being security.
bartending, security manager. Well, that's the thing too. I needed somebody to. I was running the club. I needed somebody that
Yeah,
I trusted, that it's
yeah.
not going to screw me over. And so I trusted you. I don't know why, but I did. And then we became buddies. And then then you became my second hand
Oh,
man. And then we ran
and,
that place like an iron fist. It was great.
and I could have written a book on literally like the 5 years of with you there. I mean, there were
Yeah,
nights where, hey,
it
the
was
bartender
hilarious.
didn't show and the host didn't show. So I would make drinks.
Yeah.
I would bring myself out, host, and at the end of my set, I'd be like, all right, who needs what? What do you need? Two gin tonics or two, three drafts? And I go
We all
back.
did that. We all did that. A
Yeah.
Boston Comedy Club. Bargatze did that. I did that. I was a waiter, and then like whatever, and be on the show. I would drop the drinks and then get on stage. We all
Yes.
did that. That's
Dude,
why
you
you're
were
funny. That's why you're funny.
it
You
was
you did
it
it right.
was it was such a it was the most looking back. I remember going home and being like, I don't even know what just happened. I just and the greatest was being a young guy starting out. It would be good. Like I would get off stage knowing I had the worst set in the world, like knowing it just went right to hell and nothing was funny. And I'd walk back and it'd be like you, Giannis, Mike Britt, and you would be like, "Hey, man, that's good stuff. That's what they want to hear." And Giannis would be like, "Great set, man, awesome." Know that I just ate the biggest dick in the
We
world.
all eat it. We all eat it. You know what?
Oh,
Here's the thing with you: is you started later,
yeah,
so you needed a crash course. Like
yeah,
you needed to get good fast. Like there was no waiting around. You
yeah.
weren't 22.
No,
You got a good head of hair, but that's it. You're not
That's
20.
all I got. All I got is his hair. That's it. That is it. And a roof over my
So,
head. That is it.
so, so you had to work fast, and
Yeah.
then that's the thing. You had a roof over your head, so you had extra time. You got a girl just to do it. She's cool with it. So do what you got to do, and
Yeah.
then you
No,
put the
you were
time in.
great. You were
Yeah,
great, man.
put the
It's just as
time in.
far
It
as
was
just
good.
get me, yeah, everything, man.
Yeah,
The
it was
minutes,
good.
it
It's
worked out
fun.
well. And
It was
then you
fun
left and
watching
went
it,
to
and then you.
LA and basically stuck me right in the yeah. You
I'm
just
trying to
left.
get you out of here. I'm trying to get you out of here.
I'm coming out there.
You've
Yeah,
been
soon,
saying
soon.
that for like 4 years. You're like, I'll come,
No,
man. And then you're like, whatever.
we're coming out. But the greatest thing was you and I, we got to know each other. We got to be buddies. And I mean, we've gone to basketball games, baseball game. We've gone to, I don't think we've been to a football game together.
Maybe not. No, we did like the Final Four. We've done or something like that. Syracuse was in it.
Yankees, Mets,
We did Yankees,
boxing,
Mets,
boxing.
boxing, Yankees, Mets, boxing.
I took a piss
Uh
next to Teddy Atlas in New York City, and he pissed all
yeah,
over himself. And then you and I
that
got a
was fun.
picture taken with him.
That was fun.
That
Uh
was
yeah, we did a lot of sports stuff. It's fun. But that's the thing. It's like a lot of comics, it's like it's hard to find guys that are like, into sports, but you don't want a guy that's too into sports where he can't, he's
yeah.
not, it's a nice balance. Most comics are kind of have a balance, you know what I mean?
You
Like
were
we
hilarious because it would be a Sunday night, and
yeah.
you'd be setting up Greenwich Village Comedy Club. We get ready to go. And there would be always some comic that came in, hey man, rough day for the Steelers. Boy, you guys really shit the bed. You go, yeah. I'm really not into it. And then you turn around and be like, yeah, he's not getting booked for 3 months.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about no, this is good. I know this is probably not where you want to go. You want to get into the betting stuff, but we got time. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. It's like there should be an etiquette to like,
Yeah,
how you talk to sports people. It's like being a Jets fan.
yeah.
I mean, you're a guy that like, you've been getting it for a long time. You have a bragging right week, which is great. I think you guys can go to the playoffs. If he keeps playing like that, they can protect him. I think it's gonna be great. But there's that thing where it's like, especially if you don't know football or you don't know the sport that I'm like connected to or whatever, then you can't say anything. Like if
No,
you can't like name a player, if you can't like if you let's say your team is somebody else, then and you don't know much about that team, but you're just gonna shit on my team because you think they're better or maybe they are. You don't get to do that. You don't
no.
just get to do that because I'm an open fan. You gotta if you walk in with a Ravens jersey, I'm like, okay, give me shit. All right. And you can
Yeah.
tell me who the Ravens players are and everything, then I'm like, I'm okay with it. But don't be coming in when you're just like, some theater major from, freaking
No.
Buffalo, wherever you went to school, and you're just coming in trying
No.
to act like you like football.
I almost killed a girl literally from Oneonta that came in when like, oh, the Jets, are you serious? My uncle, hey, they can't beat Eddie. I'm like, listen, already you shouldn't even be breathing, let alone talking. I'm like, just stop. I mean, no, what you're saying is totally correct. It's like you're Leah knows more about the Steelers than 90% of the people that we used to deal with. I mean,
Sure.
you're a diehard, you truly are a real Steelers fan because you're from Texas. And
Yeah, you don't pick the Steelers because you want an easy life. Maybe
no,
you did from 70 to 81 or something, but after that, you did.
yeah,
I mean, it's might as well be a Jets fan.
yeah.
I mean, we've
You
had some
said
good
one thing to
seasons.
me. You said one thing to me probably 8, 9 years ago. And at first I laughed, and then I was like, yeah, fuck you. You
What
said
did I say?
you said something to me, and you probably remember this.
Oh
Eight,
God.
9 years ago. Like when
Oh
we first
God.
were meeting, you're like, oh man, you're a Jets fan? Ah, well, at least I got one thing you don't have, hope. You
See,
literally said
I
that
could
to
say
me.
that
You
because
said that.
A, I love you, and B, I'm a actual football fan.
Yeah.
I know what that means but the thing is, all I have is hope.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
year, every year, everybody says, "Hey, they look like they might go all the way," and then they never do. And so it's like all it is hope.
but
It's like,
no, the point you made was right because You guys, if you're a Steelers fan, I
Yeah.
don't from 71 to now,
Super
every
Bowl
year you got a
is a
chance.
possibility. It
There's a
is a
possibility.
possibility. Even right now, 3-0, three stupid games, it is a possibility.
And
And
you have a great coach. You're 3-0. And not only 3-0, you're one of two teams in the NFL that in week going into week 4, you are 3-0 against the spread, which is pretty damn impressive.
yeah.
I mean, there's only two teams.
Well, we're the only team in the AFC that I think they just need the confidence. Like, I almost want to go in that locker room and like, look, you're the Steelers defense. You can stop the Chiefs and you can stop the Bills. Now just freaking do it. It's the playoffs. Like that's the only team I think that can stop that offense on both those teams. And for some reason, we've had some trouble along the way.
Yeah, but
Both,
your
but I
defense
think
this
this year,
year, we
that's
we
what I'm
just
saying. That's all we need. Because if Fields just plays like he's playing and scores 14 points, and that defense steps up, we could win ball games that
so
matter.
are you already past the you need to stay with Fields? Forget about Russell.
Yeah, because he has the athleticism that we haven't had in a long time. Like, Ben had it, but he was built like a tank. So he couldn't really do the things that Fields can do as far as running touchdowns. But he could run around. He's amazing. Being out,
No,
but
Ben was
Ben was
6'5",
he was hard.
260.
He was hard to take down and all this. I think it put a wear on him that he maybe could have played a few more years if he didn't get hit as much, to be honest
Those
with you.
17-year-old girls got a hold of him. It was
Oh, here we
history.
go. Here we go. If he wasn't in a court of law, it didn't happen. Anyway, next.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy had a good gun on him. It was tough to take down.
I
You would
made
see,
sure my headphones went out on whatever you just said.
you would see 280-pound defensive ends hit Roethlisberger, and literally he would shove him off of him. The guy was a mutant.
Yeah, but it took a toll on him. I think he could have played a better last few years if he hadn't got hit so much.
He was
So,
great, great.
but
I
here's the
mean,
deal. I think Fields. It's weird because all it's going to take is two bad games and Wilson's in. So, but I don't know. Like Wilson, I mean, I feel like the offensive coordinator is great. I like that guy, Atlanta, whatever. I think he's a good dude. I think he's perfect for this team. I think he works well with Tomlin. So I think the system's already better. So I think Wilson could come in and do pretty well.
unless they
But
trade him, they're talking about there could be a trade
I
here.
know, and there might be. And
Yeah.
they should probably just send him to Miami. I mean, just send him somewhere where they need somebody. But I think he would probably do well in this offense. But here's what he lacks: like those running a touchdown in, and like just like that. 20 years difference is what he, or 15 years. However, I don't know how old. I guess what is he, 37 or something?
Yeah.
But
Guy was a hell of
yeah,
an athlete, man. A good quarterback. It could have been probably a professional baseball player. He's unbelievable.
yeah. But I mean, in the NFL and any professional sports
Yeah.
league, age is everything. And so I'll take those 28-year-old legs or 26-year-old legs, whatever they are, over an older dude, just because he just has the longevity. And I'm impressed with Fields, man. His accuracy has been good. They're reining him in a little bit. At Chicago, they were like the expectations are too high. They're like, all right, just start, go be a star, and like nobody was like guiding him. I feel he just kind of got launched into it a little too quick.
Well,
And
how about the
that's
poor guy there now, Caleb Williams? They're
yeah,
already
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
I
That's the
know.
exact same thing to him.
Yeah.
That kid's not better than Fields. They just don't know how to like groom a quarterback. They just throw him in the lion cage and
Yeah.
expect him to win championships.
You got to get a Jim McMahon. You got to get a guy coming in just drinking, smoking weed, saying, I'm going to do it my way. You guys just
Yeah,
step back.
well, you don't always need a mentor because look at the Commanders, man. It's like that
Yo,
guy.
that first of all, I watched that kid at LSU and I was like, this kid's much better than they're winning because their coach. I'm sorry, my college football is my thing, and their coach. I think he'll probably get fired this year, but he was that good. Jaden Daniels was that good in college. I felt he was the best quarterback that
He also
I'd
played
seen in
a
a long
lot of
time.
games. He played a lot of games, and that makes a difference.
Yeah. And I mean, it's SEC football. He was that good, and you saw him last night, man. That
Yeah.
he just makes decisions quick.
Yeah. So once in a while, you have a guy like that can
Yeah. So I
probably
think
he'll. Yeah.
I think Fields he could be the guy, man. I mean, he's
We need
out
one more wide receiver, and we'll be okay. I want you
and
to.
look, I don't care what I personally think you have the best coach in the NFL. I don't care because he gets there every year. Every year he gives you guys a chance.
He does. He does. But haven't you dated like a girl that was like the best girlfriend ever, but you still wanted somebody new?
Not less than 25 times. Ah,
So I understand what you're saying. And I'm on board because of the decisions, of Pickett.
yeah.
No, Pickett was a huge decision. Starting Fields, huge decision. He's growing on me from my hatred, of like the last,
Oh,
couple of post seasons. But yeah, he made some good decisions this year and bringing in somebody new, getting rid of Canada, so it's like, yeah, getting rid of the baggage, making risky decisions, throwing a quarterback in that, what they weren't sure about, but you know, picking up on it, watching him in off season, watching him in the preseason games, you know, finding that, making those right decisions. And he's really like this year he's coming in strong. You know,
and you guys just have a coaching staff. I'm sorry, it's one of those coaching staffs that if I'm a rookie and I go to the Steelers, you have faith in what they're going to do, what they're going to tell you, because they're there every year. You got your
yeah,
defense, TJ Watt. I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
we just
people take less money when they go to the Steelers because they know what kind of organization it is. The
yeah,
Fields could have
it's
got way more money somewhere else.
I
And
mean, yeah,
and he had a jack situation and he
you go
still
back
took
to
it.
the Mooney family, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the oldest. You got the Hollises from Chicago, the Mooney. They're one of the oldest. Just, I mean, not just traditional, but just respectable
Yeah.
families that ever in
Great
any
organization.
sports.
Great
The Rooney's from
organization.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You can't find a better organization. You just can't.
But it's been a while since they've held that Lombardi. So, after a while, the fan base starts to kind of get unsettled. But I
So
feel this year we feel pretty good. But the thing is last year was such a knee jerk because I was on a podcast. I was on it's like a big Steelers podcast, and I was gung ho for Pickett. I said Pickett was gonna take us all the way. It was like fourth game in, he was 4-0. He was kicking ass. I thought he was the guy. And it was like he had a hustle, he had determination. He came back at some like a minute 40 left kind of games and he was looking good. And he, it was nothing crazy. It was a lot of like short passes and stuff, but they were winning, games against good teams. I think they beat the Bengals when,
yeah, that's your
you know,
coach. Because I saw Pickett the other day, and he's working for
yeah.
New York City Transit. I saw him driving the 3 train, which you start out on when you go to New York City. He'll probably make his way
Well,
up to the 1.
I mean, he might play. People get hurt, man. So you might see these guys sooner than you think, We'll see. I
So
mean, you never know. Look at your guy, Gino. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's over at the Seahawks. That guy was a Jet that everybody hated. Look what he's doing now. Look what
he
he's
threw four
doing now.
interceptions against Buffalo in his second year, and I'm like, he's the worst quarterback, and he'll probably go to the Super Bowl. Well, of course, our other quarterback. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Sam Darnold, who has the
Sure.
Vikings 3-0.
Yeah.
And like Sam Darnold's like up for NFL
Who's
MVP.
who's
He was the worst quarterback. He was so bad.
who's Chad Pennington playing for?
Chad Pennington could come back right now, probably lead the Raiders to like a Super Bowl. I mean, Sam Darnold, Gino. Yeah, we have guys. We really just put a dagger in kids' hearts. I mean, you know, look, the Steelers going into Indianapolis this weekend as a slight 1.5 point favorite. This game, I thought this line would be maybe 3 or 4 points. They're only laying 1.5. The Steelers are 8-2 against the Colts. but they're playing in Indianapolis, and you know how it is on the road. What do you think? How are your feelings on this game?
It's a trap game for sure in a lot of ways. I don't think they're playing like it's a trap game. I mean, they're pretty on point. I think this is a game we could afford to lose, but I think it's going to be, man. I think this is going to be down to the wire. I think Boswell, poor Boswell, man, that guy deserves a statue in Pittsburgh, man. I
Right?
think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a kicker's game. I think it's gonna be a lot of tough defense. These defenses have really been stepping up this year. I feel like the games have been incredible to watch because I'm a big defense guy. I love watching
You're
defenses.
right because
Yeah,
I want to say 70% of these games are going under, and the dogs are winning. The dogs are covering.
yeah. I say it's like a weird score, like a 13-10 or something. I think it's going to
That's
be.
a
I think it's
Steeler score. Every 15 to
yeah,
11. I mean,
yeah.
something
It's
just
going to be something that's real tight.
you
But
look at the Steelers. Steelers are in the fourth quarter. The score is 9-7, and there's a field goal laying on it.
yeah, I think Fields runs one in, and he gets a couple of good passes, and Boswell wins the game. It's
I
nothing. It's nothing crazy.
I
I
like
think
them
that's
to
all it's
win
going
the
to be.
game. I like the money line. They're only laying 1.5. So if you can get like minus 140 on the 150,
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I think they go for it now. Um,
Yes. So what do? I just call like, where do I put that money? You? I give you like $100. How's this work?
well, you're in California.
You
Can't you legally
DraftKings?
bet out there yet?
I don't know. I don't do this. Like I'm asking you. This is the show is about this. I'm curious. I have
You have your
questions.
life in order. You're not one of the degenerate gamblers.
Well, I gave up everything else in life. I figured, yeah, I'm not a gambling guy, but I like it. I like the idea of it. I just like, it's like you guys talk language I don't get. You're like parlay. What are you talking about?
There'd be nights
Is
where
that yogurt? Is that
I'd be on
yogurt?
stage like, oh, really? So obviously you didn't fucking bet the Jets game today. So you obviously don't have a child support payment. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, but my comedy will go right off the rail at a Sunday night.
Yeah, I'll start betting with you. Just tell me what to do. I'll do. We'll text. Because I like it, but I don't want to just bet my team. That's stupid. That's how you
No,
lose
no, no,
money.
no, no,
That's how
no,
you
no.
lose money.
I don't look as a Jet fan. I put a little on them last Thursday
Well,
against the Patriots, but I don't like to. I don't
dude,
like to bet Jets
dude,
games just because that's my team.
how crazy was last week though? That had to have been some crazy betting. Like people, I mean, think about how many like weird. I didn't think the Bengals are going to get beat like that. I didn't.
Vegas made a killing. Vegas made a killing.
Yeah, I mean, there was some crazy upsets last week.
We're going into week 4, Dustin, and I mean I'm calling up my handicapping friends who are solid, and they're getting their asses kicked. I mean there's no rhyme or reason for and you know the one thing I can say is we've gone heavy on college, we've gone lighter on the NFL just because it's not really working itself out the way it should. You
Great.
got
Yeah.
games this weekend. You got Denver going to the Jets +7. And
Well,
Denver just smacked the shit out of Tampa Bay. I
that's
mean,
why. That's
Denver's
why.
not bad.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, I think it takes. That's the thing too. This thing just started. It takes a couple. You
Yeah.
know, takes a couple games to get it down, figure it out. It's going to be. I love that Rams game. Because I hate San Fran. And I love the Rams, and I was so great to watch them win because they kind of own the Rams. So it was fun to see them beat the 49ers.
That what a
That was
comeback. Oh
that
my
was so
God.
beautiful. I love that. And the Cowboys almost made a comeback. Those
Listen, the
dummies.
Cowboys, you watch that first half, and I call my buddy at halftime. He's a
Yeah.
huge Cowboys. He's like, we're gonna lose 49-7. I mean, they were just down and out. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking that I remember how pissed off I got Jason Salmon that night.
Mm. Jason Salmon, comedian, Texan, and huge Cowboys fan. And
And
Howie would always make him so angry when he would just make fun of his stupid quarterback and everything else about the Cowboys.
Tony Homo, whatever. It's not half as good as Manning. Jason's eyes would just light up.
Yeah,
But hey,
so bad.
this weekend, yeah, I mean, oh no, what you were saying as far as Dallas, yeah, Dallas came back. They could have won that. They came back strong. It was a little too late.
Dallas is going to be good. They're going to trust me. They're going to come back. They're going to get it together. They got to figure out their defense. They got to, figure that out. Once they figure out their defense, I think they're going to be a pretty good team. I think they're going to win some games that people don't expect them to win, and I think they'll be in the playoffs. It's like they just had a couple dump games, but they're going to be. I think they're going to be good. You don't
Well,
think so? Think it'll be? I think they're going to be good. I think it'll be in
well,
the
the
playoffs.
one good thing about Dallas is Thursday night they're playing the Giants.
Another team you just never know.
I mean, I don't know how they beat the Browns. I don't know how they beat the Browns.
I do. They're the Browns. The Browns beat themselves.
Where's Teddy Smith at? We gotta get Teddy Smith out of this thing, man.
Browns, talk about a terrible organization. Like, you were talking about how good the Steelers organization was. I mean, that organization, I mean, they've
The
had
worst.
every opportunity, every number one pick, I mean, Hall of Famers have come through there. I
I
mean,
would say my
they've had
second
so
favorite team
much.
in the NFL is the Browns because they remind me so much of the Jets. Um, I honestly, I empathize with Browns fans because they're just like Jets. They go through the same shit
Yeah.
we do.
I think you got to have a good shit team. Like, you got to have your team, and then you got to have like your loser team. Mine was the Lions for a long time. I was like, and Seattle was pretty bad too for a long time. And then they both got good. So I need another loser team. I can't do the Browns because of my Steelers allegiance. But
No, go with
um,
Jacksonville or Carolina.
well, I met that dude. He was great. The
Good.
quarterback. It's
I
like
was in a
it's like
commercial with him.
that's right. We both met him, and he's a cool dude. I really feel bad for him because it's like he needs to. I think we'll talk
Well,
off air. I know what the problem is.
uh,
Women, weakened legs.
yeah. Well, look,
Let's keep
I
it there.
spent
Keep it
we
there.
spent a couple days with him. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. The one thing I will say about Trevor Lawrence is that when you meet him, if he told you he was a two guard in the NBA, you probably believe it because he looks like an NBA guard. He's 6'5", 6'6", maybe 6'7". He's huge. He's huge.
He's everything about him's huge. His
Yeah,
hands are huge. His head's huge. His hair is huge. Like he's the
yeah.
biggest. Like he's a big man.
He's a 6'6", like
But
not
then he looks like a surfer guy. Like he still has like
yeah,
a gentleness to him.
not a bad looking chick. I mean, not a bad looking football. But he had a
And
rough time
fun.
last night in Buffalo.
Buffalo is they're sick of being Buffalo. That's another team. Always has hope. So they come in they come in and they play you hard because they really think because everybody always picks Buffalo. Every single year people pick Buffalo. They're picking them again. They
Well,
picked them last year.
They sent Diggs down to Houston, and I mean, they just look like they're on the right page right now.
Who, Houston?
No, Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
Um,
look, they look good. I mean, but it's the NFL. It's going to depend on who stays healthy. They got to stay healthy.
but the Bills always look good. Doesn't mean they can get past the Chiefs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I
the
mean,
Chiefs have their number. And
what do you think about the Eagles going to Tampa Bay this weekend as a 2.5 point favorite? That one baffles me a little. Tampa's playing well. But it's
um,
the Eagles,
I
Jalen
think
Hurts.
I think the Eagles are going to smack the shit out of them. I do. I think
I get that feel too. Man. I get
I
this.
think
I
yeah,
get
I
that
think they're
feel.
mad that they even this they're what they have only have one loss, right? Or they have
Yeah.
two loss. Yes, one loss. Yeah, I think people are kind of counting them out, so I think they got a little grudge on their shoulder, and I think they're going to play with it. I think that's going to be a high scoring game. I think, and the jury's still out on Tampa. It's like Curtis had a great game, here and there, and he really came into an organization and and it finally fits for him. And I really feel he's gonna have longevity in Tampa, but I don't know, man. He's still kind of a guy that almost gets it done. And I
We
think
we
that's
said
that's
the
that.
same thing last week. What you're saying,
Yeah,
jury's
yes,
out. Like
yeah,
I don't have a lot of faith in Tampa.
yeah,
Baker Mayfield. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I call him Curtis Bayfield. That's what I did, right? Curtis, the singer,
He could play the guitar.
Curtis Mayfield.
Hey, here's one. How about this one? Minnesota's 3-0. Sam
Yeah,
Darnold, ex-Jets quarterback. They're like he's the
I love
greatest
it. I
ever.
love it. I love it.
They're playing at
I
Green
love it.
Bay.
I love it.
Love may be back. It
Love it.
looks like he could be. Minnesota's 3-0. They're +3. They're getting that's a trap game. They're 3-0 going into Green Bay as underdogs. Green Bay's probably going to spank them.
I don't know. That's a team I'm. If I'm a betting man, they knock Lions out of the playoffs. There's something about that team, man. I don't know what it is. I know it's early, but my gut is Minnesota's going to be a problem for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to try to cover Jefferson. That guy's just a
Yeah,
he's Randy
yeah,
Moss back in the day. That's what he is.
yeah. And I love it because I kind of like the Vikings. I like, Frank Tarkington when I was a kid. He had that stupid, he was on one of those dumb shows,
Alan Page, the purple eaters.
Yeah, I love purple. It's like Prince, Minnesota. I love it. Yeah, I'm all into the Vikings being good
But
because I got no
I
stake in the
like looking
NFC.
at the old films where today Minnesota is hosting Green Bay. It's 27 below. And there was no heating mechanisms. These guys had towels they were wrapping around their fingers like during timeouts.
Dude, yeah, the conditions were crazy. Nobody had, all these like heaters and stuff, and they were just getting slammed to the ground, and like nobody was calling anything. Like it was, they were men. They
Yeah.
weren't
Oh
just
yeah.
athletes. They're barbarians back then. Whole
So
different kind of game.
we're going down the games. We got,
Okay.
how about this one? I want your feeling on this. The Chiefs at the LA Chargers, used to be San Diego Chargers. The Chiefs are -8.5 on the road at LA. What do you think of that?
I mean, they got no quarterback, the Chargers. That's a bloodbath. Chiefs are gonna crush them. It's not. They're tired of these close games. They're not. That's gonna be a bloodbath. I
How
bet.
about two of the top NFL teams there is the Cleveland Browns playing at Las Vegas. The Browns the Browns are -1 playing against the Raiders.
I mean, to me, that those are the exact same teams. They're teams that are almost good, like we say a lot, and also I feel like yeah, it's like any given Sunday kind of teams where it's like it depends which Browns show up and which Raiders show up because sometimes the Raiders look pretty great and sometimes the
They
Browns are like
do.
you can't stop this team.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one, man. I'm gonna say Browns got something to prove. They're not gonna let the Steelers and Ravens get all the love in the AFC North. So I think the Browns win that one.
Well, speaking of the Ravens, you got the Buffalo Bills who are smashing everybody going into Baltimore to play against Lamar Jackson, the guys this Sunday. The Buffalo Bills are 2.5 point underdogs against the Ravens. Explain that one.
I think Bills smack them, and I think Lamar gets hurt.
He he tears
That,
his third leg. I don't
that's just
know.
that's just what I want as a Steeler.
It's coming from a Steelers fan, everybody. I
I'm just
love Lamar
projecting it.
Jackson. He's
No,
made
I
me
like
money.
Lamar. He's great. He's great for the game.
Yeah,
But no, but
he's a great
but let's
quarterback.
think about it. A guy like that would get hurt against a team like the Bills because that's the team that hurts you when you run around like that.
Right.
That's a team that'll smack you on your ass when you're a runner, a quarterback that runs and scrambles all the time. And so I mean that seriously. Like that's a team that they will smash you. Like there's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
teams you can like run around on and you don't get hurt. Bills, man, and they got something to prove going into Baltimore. Like that's a great game. That's the game of the week
They
right
come
there.
from a community. There's no other pro sports here. It snows 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's Polish. I mean, they're not smart. They don't know how to cross streets and turn light bulbs on. I mean, so yeah, the Bills are
Yeah.
everything. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all there is up there. Look, final game. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to go over the Tennessee Miami game because both those teams are just Miami's done. I mean, they're done. They got
It's unfortunate. That first game, everybody was so excited.
yeah. I mean, Tua has been slapped in the head with too many wet paper towels, and he's
Yeah.
done. He can't move.
Yeah. It sucks.
But Monday night, this is a good game.
What do we got?
Seattle Seahawks are going into Detroit.
Mm.
They're 3-0 plus 3.5
Mm.
points. They're underdogs at Detroit Monday night. Detroit kind of has to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sick of the Bills rhetoric and I'm sick of the Lions rhetoric. Everybody's like Lions are gonna win everything. Yeah, I'm gonna say Seahawks. I would bet on Seahawks. That's to me, that's a fun bet that might pay off. But
I'm gonna hit you up on that one. I'm gonna let you know what that is. Maybe we'll
yeah,
put a little
yeah, I'll
dinero
put a little
on it.
green on that. Yeah, because
Yes,
I feel like
absolutely.
that's an upset game because it's like, you know, both teams are playing well, but I don't know. There's something tricky about them Seahawks, and
Oh,
I think it's gonna be a tight game. But I
no, they're
think
well coached. They got good defense. Gino knows what he's doing. They got great
yeah,
receivers. That's a good team.
yeah,
Uh, so Dustin,
yes,
you've you're playing at stadiums all over the country with Nate Bargatze. I
been
mean,
fun,
yeah,
been fun.
you're absolutely crushing. I just every time I see you like in Tennessee at a state, I literally am like, I wish I was there to see that. I would just kind of like probably bust his balls, but it's amazing. Um,
Yeah, and then I'm doing comedy with that other chick, Leah Bonema. We're doing we're doing a
Actually, she's
tour.
one of my favorite comedians in the
She's
world. I'm
great.
not
She's
kidding you.
great. I know she's
She's
great.
awesome.
And we're doing a tour. We're packing up the dogs, and we're hitting like all these places. I was gonna hit you up about Atlanta. I don't know
All
if you
right.
know anybody we could hang out with in Atlanta.
Yeah. Do you have a spot? I'll talk to you about it. Find a spot
Yeah, we'll
down
talk
there.
about it. Yeah, we'll Atlanta, but we're going through
No,
cross country. It's gonna be fun. It's
Dustin
called.
Chafin,
Yep.
one of the funniest comedians in the country. And
Thank you, buddy.
truthfully, I'm being honest. But yeah, you'll see this guy playing all over the place. Join the Discord. Go to whop.com. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Subscribe. It's free. Subscribe on YouTube for free. Go to Howie_Dewey Twitter. Let's bank.